this one. Just the boost that Tom has given you guys the last couple of weeks, and with Khalif now, returning to practice and coming back, what's the kind of the discussion there? Do you try to keep both guys up? Do you have to make a decision there? And it's probably a good problem to have. But
yeah, great problem to have. Obviously, number one, I would say this. I can't tell you how ecstatic I am for Tom Kennedy. I mean, there's nobody who deserves the attention and recognition more than him in this building. I mean, a guy who's just worked his tail off every single day. The whole time he's been here, never, ever complained about the reps he's getting, the opportunities he's getting. Whether he knows he could do something better, maybe some other guy who's getting a shot before him, and then for him to get the opportunity and then go out there and make the most of it, you got to give him a lot of credit. Obviously, there's a bunch of guys blocking for him who are competing also, but I always say that in the return game, it starts with the returner, and the great returners make great blockers, and the better that guy does with the ball in his hands, the better those blockers end up doing. And all those guys blocking for a good returner know that. And then the bad returners, they say, well, there's no holes and the blocking is not very good, and it's like, well, be careful because some of that might be because of you. But anyway, the other thing it's just a great thing about this game in general is I think my dad used to always tell me when I was a kid, he would say, he flew in the military and was a pilot in the Vietnam era. And he said the one thing the military could not measure or figure out, they spend a lot of money training pilots. Well, they obviously want to train the pilots who are going to be good pilots and make it through and not waste their money on guys who fall out and don't make it. So he said they would put a lot of money into testing and trying to evaluate who are going to be good pilots and then bad pilots. And so they would do all kinds of tests, mental tests, whatever, physical tests with these guys. And he would always tell me, he said, man, the one thing they have not figured out how to measure is what's in your heart and what's in your mind. And that's the greatest thing about this game, too. You just can't measure that stuff. And when it comes out like it did for him on that game, it's just incredible to watch. The power of the human spirit, a guy who wants to go make a play and just decides he's not going to let this opportunity pass him by. You just can't measure it. And sometimes, man, it's probably sitting there waiting for 3 years or whatever it is, 4 years, watching other people get turns, and that just builds inside of somebody, and he gets the chance, and he just lets it rip. So it was awesome.
Did he do enough to keep the job, kick return?
So, yeah, at the end of the day, I would say, yeah, he'll be back there on kickoff return. Obviously, punt return's tough because, most of the time you can only put one guy back there. Maybe you put two, something like that. But anyway, we'll find out. Khalif's obviously an incredible player for us, so I would see him starting off as our punt returner, and I would definitely see Tom Kennedy being a part of the kick return game. But, yeah, if we get Leaf back, I would see him returning punts for sure. And that also helps balance Leaf's load. He plays a lot of offense for us. You guys asked me that question about Turpin. That does take something out of you when you're playing a lot of reps. Now, those guys can still turn it on and make a difference on any play, but that would help balance his workload too. So.
You're sick?
I got this. Little stuff. I don't know.
How do you decide which side to deploy your kick returners? Is there like a chess match between where you think?
Yeah, like that game. If you look at it, there's a number of things going on. There is some chess to it, but at the end of the day, they control where the ball goes. You can try to help manipulate it if you're on kickoff return. I don't know. Like you may have noticed, we had an extra guy lined up on one side. Well, sometimes they kick the ball to the extra guy. Sometimes they kick the ball away from the extra guy. Some teams may always kick away from the extra guy. Maybe you say, hey, we would rather kick to the extra guy and this returner because we don't think he's as good as the other guy, and we know that we're kicking to an overloaded side, but we would rather put the ball in that guy's hands. That's possible too. So there's a lot to it. Obviously we had flipped those guys. They had flipped direction of the kick. They kicked into the overload side or the loaded side or the heavy side, and they kicked away from it. So at some point, there's no telling. You got to have two good returners. It's like I said it to Dan, it's like having a great receiver. If you have one receiver, it's an issue, but you can cover that up pretty quick. Double team that guy, eliminate him, all that. If you have two, oh man, now it's who do we double? And then you got a running back, and now it's like, well, we can't just play shell coverage. We got to get an extra guy in the box. Now these guys are singled up. They can only double one, not two. Now guys get one-on-ones, make plays. So a lot of good players helps.
It's going to be maybe an evolution coming out of the college game and the scouting is just an emphasis on return men now that, this new format is, 70% returns?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think I said that before the season started. Like, to me, this is great because it's going to put an emphasis on guys who can return the ball. I think it's going to push the top of the roster to be a part of that too. You're no longer going to say, hey, well, that's running back number 2. He shouldn't really be doing that. You're going to be like, running back 2 should be doing that, or, vice receiver number 3 or whatever it is. But I think it'll also force, eventually some of these guys who are at the top of the roster to start playing. I mean, it makes an immediate impact. It's a huge difference. I mean, if you said to an offender on this play, you're going to get a chance to have a 40-yard return or a 30-yard run, like, who do you want out there for it? Well, we want our best player out there for it, probably. So at some point, I think teams will start to say that more and more. I think the other thing that probably factors into that, and I don't know this yet, but after this year, we'll have a pretty good gauge on it. Like, what's the injury data say for the guy returning the ball? How dangerous is that position? What kind of exposure to, risk does that put him at? At least you'll have some more factual information, not just kind of opinions.
Somewhere in this building, J-Mo's ears just perked up.
Yeah, he wants to do it. There's a bunch of guys who want to do it, but
You see a difference in skill set between the guys that are excelling in this system as a return guy versus the old style where everybody lined up in the same place? Is there a difference in what you're looking for back there?
Yeah, I do think on this play, it's a little bit more like a punt returner. And the old play was a little bit different, just run game wise, probably a little bit more like your bigger downhill back. But this play, I mean, in both plays, but ultimately, if you got a guy who can create space and open up gaps and manipulate defenders, that's really what you want playing this play here. Guys who can move the coverage and open up and create space on their own, because it's hard. You're in some tight quarters to begin with on the play.
We're getting our first looks at Miles Frazier. What do you see in terms of him as a player and the value and how he's doing with his responsibilities on teams?
Yeah, so he played a little bit for us on field goal, and I thought he did a nice job. So we'll just continue to see where he goes from there. Obviously, I would start by saying on the field goal, I mean, really, I need to do a better job with that whole play in general. We've had some of the low trajectory kicks. It's not been good enough. With Bates, we talked about that. Now, in the last game, we have leakage in our protection. But I would say, in my opinion, honestly, like, it can't look like that. And I can't sit here and say I've done well enough. So I have to do a better job with these guys, all of them in the protection game for sure. So, yeah, we got to get that fixed going in this game.
Specifically with that block, Dave, I was just curious, I don't know who's to blame, I don't know if you don't want to say, but with Ratledge on the left side, I'm curious what goes into the decision making when, he's used mostly on the right side as a guard. Why would you maybe switch his mindset, his brain?
Yeah, so, well, one thing actually that would counter that question, but I think there's a lot that goes into that. Some of it is we got Sewell, who's played on the right side his whole career. And so moving him is, let's not move him. Now, that being said, a lot of times on field goal protection, a right guard or a right tackle ends up playing on the left side. It sounds weird, but like a right guard or right tackle usually has his right foot back. Well, on field goal protection, the guys on the left side have their inside foot back. So that would be actually his right foot back. So a lot of guys on the offensive line, right side players, feel more comfortable playing the left side of field goal in protection. But that's really not totally why we have them there on that side. Sewell's been the right side for us for a long time. He's done a great job. Then you could also say we put the ball on the left hash on PATs, so most of the rushes come from the right-hand side. So we have a little bit better group probably on that side than we do on the left side. You know what I'm saying? So it's there's a lot of different reasons why you do it. But, yeah.
Kicker preference where you put the ball in the hash for that?
Say
Kicker
that
preference where you put the ball in the hash?
Yeah, kicker preference, what he does best. Yeah, for sure. Hash on a PAT. I mean, if you get a choice, then we could put it on the hash. He either kicks the best on or feels the best kicking on or statistically does the best.
You talked about Jack Campbell on special teams and how valuable he is to before. I was just curious, has he ever, or have you guys ever gone to him and say, hey, we're going to sit you? And he was like, no, I want to.
Yeah, so, he played punt for us the first couple of years, and he loved playing punt. And we tried to get him off at the beginning. We eventually did, obviously, but we tried to get him off, and he's like, I'm not coming off a punt. Like, I love playing punt. It's like the first play gets me warmed up. I get to run down and then, cover the punt and then play on defense. And he was adamant about it. And then, obviously, this year we got him playing kickoff, or halfway through the season we put him out there, and he's done a great job. He's the same way. I think all the great players, they don't care what down it is. They don't care what the score is. They just want to play. They want to go out there and play and contribute. They want to compete. They love competing in different phases, different areas, showing different skill set. The ultimate competitors, the best that I've ever been around are like that. You got to pull them off the field, and the more you can play them, the more they want to play. And he's certainly like that. He's impressive. He's obviously done a great job, linebacker, but he's an incredible person. I can't tell you just what a team player he is.
Tyrus Wheat is leading your group in tackles this year. Waiver claim came on kind of late, bigger body frame. I know you guys are using some of those guys more than other teams. What is he doing so well on those groups to be around the ball as much as he is?
Yeah, so to start off, we've kicked the ball a little bit more to the right than the left, and he's always been on the right-hand side, so that helps him puts him where the ball is a little bit more often. That being said, he does a great job of getting off blocks, staying in his area, kind of getting off blocks, finding the football, and making plays. I always say to these guys, the bottom line in this business is you got to make plays. If you want to keep your job or you want to play in this league for a long time, it's going to come down to the stat sheet. How many tackles you got, how many assists you got, how many catches you got, how many touchdowns you score, what's your QBR rating. That stuff all matters. And if you're one of those guys who goes out there and has played a lot of plays in coverage, kickoff or punt on special teams, and you don't have a lot of production or tackles to show it, man, it's going to get tough for you. It's also tough for all the guys next to you because you're putting the pressure on those guys to make plays. And I think at the end of the day, the great defenders, the great guys in coverage on special teams, they play with vision on the football, and they see the ball all the time, and they're periffing all the blocks and everything in front of them, and they understand angles and where the lockers are and the bodies are, but angles and space and the ball carrier, and they can dissect all that stuff, and they can play all the blockers with their peripheral vision and keep their eyes on the ball carrier all the time. The great tacklers keep their eyes on the ball and go find a way to get there.
Excited about this game, I tell you, man. These are the matchups you live for, like when I was talking to the offense yesterday, a lot of their categories, they're tops in the defense in a lot of categories, and then we're right next to them. We're in the tops of all those categories too. So it's going to be a fun matchup. Accept the challenge, man. It's going to be fun. Going back to LA, I lived there for half my life, but it's going to be fun. Always love going against McVay and those guys. They do a really good job. Shula's doing an unbelievable job. Every coordinator that comes there, defense coordinator, they got to learn. It's Vic Fangio's defense, basically. And those guys get after it. Do a good job up front, causing havoc. So that'll be the challenge up front for those guys. They do a really good job in the scheme of things in the back end, but they apply pressure, man. They apply pressure. It causes a lot of turnovers. We protect the ball. It's like I said, a lot of categories, we're like 1 and 2. So it's going to be a cool matchup. Looking forward to it. Just
talking to Shep, he was kind of saying the same thing about their offense. They like to dictate the terms of how things are going to go. So how do you go about breaking down an opponent like that and starting a game plan too? Because I'm sure you want to also impose your will.
Yeah, I don't look at. You talking about their offense?
No, just their their defense,
so we got to attack. We got to attack them just like we have been doing all year. We got great players. I've been saying it all year. Guys have stepped up, and so we'll attack. That's what we're going to do. Run and pass. We're going to get after them. That's what we need to do. We need to score points. Okay? We understand that, and we'll do that. We've been doing a good job with that, scoring points. We got to do a good job. We got to be manageable. Okay, we can't have any of these pre-snap penalties. Can't do that against this team. Can't be behind the 8 ball. We got to be third and short and medium. Got to be able to do that. Last game, I call it CFL football. It's first, second. We didn't have a lot of third downs. So that's the way we got to play. Can't get behind the chains. It'll be tough. You know, it might be a boring game, might be a dink and dunk game. You know what I mean? And if we just take what the defense gives us, be smart, just like we have been all year, and we'll be just fine.
What has it been like watching Jared kind of handle this season? I mean, and obviously dealing with the changes in personnel on the interior offensive line, tight ends leaving, play caller switch. I mean, there's been a lot of things kind of changing all at once. Again, he's still maintained this high level of performance. But what has that been like?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, he's a true professional. It's a good thing he's played for, 10 years now? He's seen a lot of ball. He don't blink. I mean, there's times where he's getting his butt kicked. He just gets right back up. That's one of his strengths. He's mentally tough. And his preparation is the key to our success, just like everybody. I mean, our guys, they do a great job. Our coaches do a great job preparing everybody. But when you got a guy like that, it's pretty special. You know what I mean? And when things don't go right, and through his preparation, he sees certain things and gets to it, just like he did a couple weeks ago. And it's helped us. It's helped us a few times. But run and pass, he always gets us in the right play. It just takes a lot off our plate. You know what I mean? When you got a guy like that. And then we communicate all throughout the whole week. Every day we're communicating. We watch film, we talk, me and him, and then I communicate it with Dan and everything. So it's just been awesome. I can't say enough about him, how he's playing.
John,
Is his mental fortitude higher than any quarterback, or in some ways that you've dealt with?
There.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, he's up there. I've been with Drew Brees, who was very intelligent. He's up there. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? But that all the top quarterbacks are like that. You know what I mean? You can see where you can do a lot. When you got a guy like that, it just makes it a lot more simpler.
Played some other defenses this season, Philadelphia, Green Bay, guys, the teams that really rely on their front four to do the damage, and they can drop 7 and cloud everything up. Are there lessons learned from that tape earlier in the season, those 3 games, that are applicable to help you be more efficient in this one?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's different personnel. I mean, they're a young front, but man, they get after it. I mean, they're violent. You know what I mean? So that we have to match that intensity, which we will. Our effort and our intensity has been great all year. That's why I love the matchup, man. This is like a heavyweight fight. It's going to be great.
What do you think of the way Miles Frazier played? Just first taste of it?
Not bad. I mean, played like a rookie, but not bad. I mean, there's a lot of things he has to clean up technique-wise, but I was encouraged. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's going in there and right away, basically. He's still, he's got to work on a lot of things. So he's a rookie, but I think the future's bright with him. I really do.
What are you most encouraged by with him?
I like his size. I like how he moves. He's a powerful guy. We saw that on tape, at LSU, and we liked him a lot. And we were shocked that he fell where he was at. But he's a rookie. He's got to get a few years in the weight room is going to help him. And it's the same thing again. The more he plays, the better he's going to get, just like everybody else. But it was good to get him in there. It was good.
What challenge, if any, is presented to you and the coaching staff when you guys are potentially using a rotation at left guard with Cologne and Miles?
Don't blink. You just call your plays. Don't blink at all. Just like we have been. We've had a different center in. We have different guards in, different tackles in. We don't blink. The tackle area is kind of different. Sometimes you got to protect that, because that's important. But no, we just call our stuff.
We know how you feel about Sam Laporta. You've made that clear throughout the season.
Yeah.
If you really look at that tight end depth chart, you're probably down to your 6th. If you go back
maybe
to
7.
Camp with Kenny, So first career, I know he was here in 23, but fresh and some new stuff in the playbook. You've got some young guys on practice squad that just got here. What are the challenges at that position? Maybe one of the more complex on offense behind quarterback.
Well, I think when you get a veteran tight end in here that's played, that helps. A rookie or a young guy, that's not going to work real fast. So And if he has to play, we put him in spots where we think he'll have success. We're not going to ask him to do something that he can't, because I don't even know some of these guys. I just found out the one tight end's from Western Michigan. I was kind of happy about that. I didn't even know that. No one had told me. By the way, they won the bowl game. That was pretty good. Or a championship. Man, we're not going to ask someone to do something that they can't when we get new guys in here. It's hard to learn this offense in the beginning, so you just got to give them a little bit at a time. Here's your packages, here's your plays. Just learn that. That's all you got to do,
Change your personnel groupings at all, or what you want to do? Do we do more 10 or whatever it is, just because some of those guys are not as up on some of that stuff, or do you just run what you run and you trust guys to step in?
Not in the passing game, no. I mean, you kind of seen we've run a lot of different personnel groupings. Gibby's been involved, which is he's done exceptionally well. I mean, I can't say enough about him. But yeah, I mean, we're going to do whatever we got to do. If it's a certain concept, all right, we got to have this guy here and that guy there, we have to create it. That's what you do. We're not going to ask someone to do something that they can't. If we think the ball's going in a certain spot, that guy's probably going to be there. That's more reliable. So, but those guys have been awesome. We played a bunch of different guys. I mean, Tesla stepped up a little bit last week. Man, he just keeps getting better and better. So excited about him. And like Gibbs, I can't say enough. And Saint and J-Mo. I mean, these guys are just blossoming. And it's really cool to see at the right moment, So as we get in this push right here, we're going to need all those guys, And then hopefully Leaf will come back, and that's going to be a good thing.
How about Zylstra? How could he help you at tight end?
He's played. He's done well. He's more receiving tight end. That helps. It's been missing ever since Laporta's been gone, so he helps in that aspect.
Nate Landman might not be a household name, but obviously having a breakout season there for the Rams at linebacker. Just what kind of challenge does he propose? And I guess is there?
Yeah, he's a good player. I'll say this, he does a really good, how Camel likes punching the ball out? This guy does the same thing. They're almost pretty similar. But he's the captain of that defense. He gets guys lined up. It was a good addition for those guys. He's a really good player. But we got to be aware of him because of that.
You talked about having multiple packages, and you like having multiple packages.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like you've been running a little bit more 20, 21 the last few games, obviously, given what happened with the tight ends. I mean, what is that? Where do you see that package going, and your ability to kind of maximize that to its full potential?
Well, you'll have to see, but I mean, you put your best players out there. That's the beauty. I just said all these guys. And it's, based on kind of what they do. All right, let's do this. Let's make sure we get this, or what I mean. So the more these guys play, the more you're like, oh man, boy, he can do that. Now, OTAs, training camp, we had Gibbs everywhere running all these different types of routes, and you got to go do that. And he was like, okay, he can do this, he can do that, and then it's like, oh well, he can probably do everything. That's how you figure things out. You use the off season for those types of things. You kind of experiment with things and see how they are, and that's the cool thing, going in the laboratory and kind of figuring it out.
Is there a reason why you didn't initially use that as much, I guess, first 8 or 9 weeks of the season? But
Yeah, I mean, it was in there, but, you had Laporta. I mean, he was rolling, right? And you got Saint, you got J-Mo, and it just depends on how, what the defense is doing. What package is what we need. So